Hey, it's No2 here with New Comic Hall. It's been a little bit since my last video, but I've still been steadily buying comics and just received my order after 18 weeks waiting for a new shipment of Mylar. So as I start bagging and boarding the books I've purchased, I'll start posting some videos. My son, Max, hi Max,
Hi.
wants to also show some figures he's bought since our last video. So let's get started here with a local con. It was the last con of the season in my area, a really small con. There was probably maybe 8 or 9 vendors there from around the area. Um, I bought a few comics, mainly because some of the dealers were not taking credit; they only took cash, and I usually only carry a little bit of money with me to these conventions, and if I see anything worthwhile, I usually end up spending credit. But since that wasn't the case, I came away with just a few books. So this first book I got here is Brightest Day #4, which is the first appearance of Jackson Hyde. Got it for $5. One of the dealers I go to frequently, he had this book priced at $20, and I didn't have this comic, and I was like, looking at it. I didn't take it out of the bag, and then he said, I could have it for $5 because it's last con of the season, and I thought I was getting a great deal. Was really appreciative of it. This is Amazing Spider-Man #151, iconic cover. But then when I took it home, and this area here is water damaged actually, and so for $5, that's probably about what it was worth. You might be able to press it out. I think I may have shown this book in one of my previous hauls, which is the Marvel Tales reprint of that issue, which is kind of nice to have both, I guess. I'm still wanting to upgrade this cover because that's one of my favorite covers from the Amazing Spider-Man early bronze. Another book I bought at this con, which was a little pricey, um, is the Savage She-Hulk #1. Now I know I have a copy of this comic somewhere. I just can't find it just yet. This is a direct edition, and he had 150 on this book, which I looked at it in a bag, and I was like, it looks pretty sharp. There's maybe one spine tick there, if you can see it right here. But other than that, it's pretty sharp, it's intact. But where the issue is there's a little tanning on the edge. So I'm not sure what tanning on the edge, because it's an all white cover, how much of a downgrade that would get that to maybe an 8. But for 150, I thought it was a fair price, and so I did buy that for 150. And he was one of the dealers that was taking credit. Now the other issues, I only bought like I said, a few comics. And these were the other 3. Really, I only got 5 comics at this convention, and I'll show this first. I have been looking for a nice, high grade copy of this comic for some time. Even online, a high grade goes for a lot. And it has to do with the age of the book, early bronze, Fantastic Four #120, and the fact that this is a black spine. So, I graded this. I mean, there's one little bend at the corner there, but other than that, the corner is sharp, clean front and back. There's a little bit of off whiteness on the white there, but it was a very clean copy. And I would say this is a VF Plus copy, and he had $40 on it. And he had the continuing issue 121, which obviously is kind of got some tanning. The cover should be white, but as you can tell, it's a little off white. Got a little bit of foxing there on the spine, and so the two together was listed at $50. 40 and 10, and he gave them both to me for 45. Now there was another dealer that had this in probably VF plus near mint minus for $30, but that's the issue that's got the value, and he did not have that comic in this high of a grade. So I thought maybe I might be able to find another copy of this for a little bit higher grade, for a little bit less than 30. So I went ahead and took the 121 and 120 for 45, which I thought was a great deal. I mean, this comic here near mint is still easily a $50 to $60 book, if not higher. A near mint went for a few hundred earlier this week. So, and I think, it being the first appearance of a Galactus Herald has some potential. Now, this same dealer had a lot of Fantastic Fours. And he doesn't have a shop. He only sells out of at some cons and at a flea market once or twice a month, he said. So I may try to find him again. But he had a beat up issue of Fantastic Four 48, 52, and 49. 48 he had for $350, and it was probably a VG, and that was well worth it. And I wanted to buy it, but I didn't have the cash for it. And he had the first appearance of Silver Surfer, and that was a beat up copy too, maybe a 2.5, and he wanted I think $450 for that, which is still a pretty good price for the condition of that comic. But again, I did not have the cash for that. So, but what he did have, which I also really liked, was this Fantastic Four number 46, first appearance of Black Bolt. Now, there's a little bit of issue there. There's a fold and a small chip out of there. The white stuff is microchamber paper that I put in there, and there's a little bit of that there. But it's firmly attached. The spine still looks good. I mean, there's a few spine ticks, but for a comic in this condition, I would say it's a fine. The colors are very sharp. I've seen comics on walls that are faded and do not present as well as this does for way more than what I paid. So he had it priced at $150. And I kind of jokingly said, because I had $102 left in cash. And I asked him, would he take 102? And he said, I'll take 100. So I got this book for $100. And I think in this condition, ungraded, this is probably a $250, maybe even a $300 book, maybe even higher. This, I think, is undervalued for the first appearance of Black Bolt. He's kind of a semi-key and major character. The colors are sharp. Again, I think that book was well worth easily $150, and to get it for $100 I thought was a steal. So those were the books that I got at that local con. Was happy to get them. All right, so let's talk about some other books. So some dollar books. I got 2 copies of the first appearance of Midnight Sun, sealed, still in poly bag, $1 a piece. That is starting to heat up, and I think it'll continue to heat up for a little bit. I found 2 copies at cover price the second print of Taskmaster #3, first appearance of Taiguchi, South Korean superhero. Got this for cover price at the same store. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures #6, which I was surprised to still see this cover there. This is the first appearance of Balto, I think. So that's probably a $10 book. The next thing I want to show are some eBay purchases. Now, I've been after this book for probably 4 years. 4 years, easy 4 years. It's one of the few Adam Hughes books that I've really been after. It has gotten pricey. Graded copies are easily, $300. They sell out quick. There was a listing, and for buy it now for $125, which I thought was a great deal for this book, because this book, even in auctions raw, will go for 200, 250 plus, 226. This is a hard book to find. This is a 1 in 50 ratio Adam Hughes copy of A-Force 1, which is also the first appearance of Singularity. A-Force 1, he had a hip-hop variant that Adam Hughes did. He did this 1 in 50. There's the Stephanie Hans and the Jim Chung. A-Force 1 is consistently the variant edition, as well as the Stephanie Hans. This Adam Hughes is hard to find, even online. And if you do see it listed online, they sell quick. And so I was very happy to get this copy. Another book that I've been trying to find to complete my run was the Adam Hughes variants to the limited series Barbed Wire. And this book, I had to resort to eBay to find. This is Barbed Wire #5, cover B, which is a gorgeous cover by Adam Hughes. And ironically, when I first found, I found a copy first in a buy it now for CGC graded copy, a 9.8. Again, it's just a beautiful cover by Adam Hughes. And it was listed for buy it down $59, which, if you grade comics, it's probably a $35 fee just to grade it. And then the comic itself, in knowing that it's in mint for an extra, $20? I figured it was worth it. And so I bought that. And then there was a seller, it had to be a store or a dealer, that had this for $5.99. And there were multiple copies, which I never see. I've looked for this for a long time too, in a while, could not find it. So they had I think 5 copies, and I bought 3 of them for cover price. Or no, $5.99 is not cover price. $5.99 each. And then the shipping, and the reason why I bought 3 was because shipping was the same for 1 versus 3. And so I went ahead and got 3 of the 5 for the price of shipping for 1. And since it's hard to find, so I went ahead and bought that, because I knew that if I found one in the wild again and it was just by itself, and if it was that price, I would have bought it. So I may not have paid $5.95. Maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was $3.95. Whatever it was just a little bit over cover price. I can't remember what the cover price was, but I think it might have been, let's just say $5 a piece, with $5 shipping. So I thought that was a good deal. And I wanted to show this too. So I've been putting my graded comics in these bags here, which is legal size Mylars, because they're crystal clear. I think the case gets better protection, and since it's so clear, it presents well for the for the graded comic, and it fits pretty nicely in there too. All right, Max, you ready to show your figures? I think we're gonna stop here, and Max is ready to show some figures. I think we'll put up this barbed wire for background imaging. What do you have to show us today, Max?
Suicide Squad #2.
Oh, so he's got... We helped him find the Suicide Squad figures from the McFarlane line, the McFarlane universe, from the Suicide Squad movie. I've seen that movie. Max has not because of the rating, but he did like the figures. He's been dying to see it, but if you've seen it, then you know why at age 10 we don't let him see it. But the reason why he wanted them was for the Build-A-Figure. Now, I will say the figures McFarlane does, his line of toys are very well done. They have lots of articulation. I don't know for a fact, but I do believe that the Polka Dot Man is the chase figure because he was hard to find. I don't know if they just hadn't been all shipped out yet or with the shipping delays, but he was the hard one to find, and I ended up buying him online for $30 with free shipping. So I did buy him. So that was a decent deal, and he actually is one of my favorites from that line. The 4 was Polka Dot Man. Who's next, Max?
Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, the John Cena Peacemaker. Now there is that's a decent look. I mean, it's true to the movie, right? True to the movie. There is a unmasked variant of this that he didn't have, but again, he wanted it for really the Build-A-Figure.
And he kind of looks cool too.
He is cool looking. Who's the next one yet? Oh yeah, Harley Quinn, the lovely Margot Robbie, who what did she come with? A accessory? What did she come with? A stick or what did she come up with, Max?
I think a spear.
A spear? She came with a spear?
I think.
Now this does look just like her too. I think they did a good image of her because of the way they do figures now and the computer animation and modeling. But it does look like Margot Robbie. And then who's the last one? Oh yeah, Bloodshot. Now, Bloodshot by Idris Elba. Does his mask come off?
No.
So his mask does not come off. He came with.
They have an unmasked version too.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Where's your guns at for him? You didn't bring them?
They didn't have guns.
He didn't have a gun?
Nope.
He had to because he's got that finger holder.
True, but he did have a gun.
He did have a gun.
No, he did. He had swords.
No.
Yeah, he did actually. He had 2 swords.
All right, if you say so. So Bloodshot. And they obviously came with the Build-A-Figure pieces for Kill a Shark, or what is it? King Shark.
And he said.
And this was the figure he wanted. Which I will say is a great figure. I mean, McFarlane did a great job on these figures. Whoops. That, awesome. He has some articulation. He's heavy too. He's as heavy as the Thing, actually heavier than the Thing Marvel Legends if you have that figure. It's a great looking figure. Even his feet can articulate a little bit. The hands, they do not move, but the hand itself does, but the fingers do not. But it is a great looking figure. This is the figure he wanted. I think, they knew people wanted King Shark. He was kind of a sleeper star from that movie. He got his new own comic limited series that this past week, the Matina variant cover is pretty awesome. And even though John Cena is the one that ended up with his own series, it'll be interesting to see if how they play King Shark in future movies. So
I hate it. That's rated R still.
anyway, here you go, Max. Thanks for sharing. Alrighty, well, here's your figures back. All right, back to the haul. So,
Bye, everyone.
bye, Max. All right, so what's next? So, found myself out of town for work again, and picked up some other dollar books. I got. I don't think there's a whole lot of significance to the book itself. It's a very cool Alex Ross cover. The Avengers #2 had a little bit of heat on it with the Kang variant. Or not Kang variant, the Kang with all the eras of Kang in there. So that was something for $1 a piece. I figured I'd pick that up. I did not have this copy. Was really happy to find this. It's in a VF Plus fine, very VF Plus, probably a 9. Wildcats X-Men, the Modern Age one. It says #1, but I believe it's a one shot. And the cover is by Adam Hughes. The interior art's by Adam Hughes, which I wasn't aware of that when I was hunting for this. I've been hunting for it for quite some time, and when I got it, I thumbed through the interiors, and actually the interiors are pretty good for Adam Hughes in this particular issue, even though it's kind of still semi early in his career for that, before he went to exclusive covers for the most part. For $1, was very happy to have that, to add that to my collection. I found this for $1, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's easily a $10 book. We all know that Elsa Bloodstone's coming, and so I found 2 copies of Bloodstone #2, or Marvel Presents Bloodstone #2, for $1 a piece. That one obviously is in better shape than this one. This is maybe VG. They're both fully intact, but for $1 a piece, I picked them both up. A book that has slowly started to climb over the last few years, but anytime that I see this book for cheap, I'm picking it up. I've shown this on multiple videos before, but for $1, I'll never leave it. Echo of Future Past #1, which is the first appearance of Bucky O'Hare. There's one spine tick there, but again, VF copy for $1. Excellent, well worth it. This is starting to it's trying to be somebody. And that's Legion of Monsters #1, Werewolf by Night. Greg Land cover and interiors. Did not have this, just to complete my run, for All New Wolverine #15 for $1. And then I found several copies of this first series, America, for $1 each. America #3. I do have the complete series and multiple copies of multiple issues. This actually has a little bit of heat, probably easily a $10 book. I think it tells the origin of America Chavez. #4 for $1. 2 copies of the lenticular cover. #8, I believe, for $1 piece. And then a beautiful cover by Quinones, #10 of America for $1. On that same work trip, did not have this. Origin #1. This has the I can't even remember what they call that, where the cover is clear and it opens up. It's like a little piece of plastic and the claws are off. But Origin #2, issue #1. I didn't have this complete series. I didn't know what numbers I was missing I do know I had issue number 1 for sure, but didn't remember which issues I had that I was missing, so I went ahead and bought 2 through 6. Mainly because number 1 was not there. I would have picked up another copy. But it was Hulk Gray, number 2, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, who have, collaborated on numerous comic limited series that are fabulous. Number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. And they were all in near mint condition. So I got those at $1 a piece. We're at 25 minutes. I think I'm going to stop there. I wanted it to just be a little quick haul. I appreciate everyone's time and for watching my video. Hope to post another one later this week. Until then, peace.